As you can see, I'm starting in Revit. And when it's time to create a sheet, I'm going to go down in my project browser to where it says Sheets, and all in parentheses, you're going to see A00 and D00 as example layouts. I'm going to right-click where it says Sheet, and my first option is New Sheet. This is the closest way to go. From there, you'll see this screen. You have several options. The ones that we're going to use in this class are A, FRM Landscape, and D, FRM Landscape. For now, A is what we're going to use when we're making drawings for the small printer. We want it to be new, and I'm going to push OK. Just like other views open, it opens in its own tab. It assigns it a page number and a name. What I do is I right-click on it in my project browser and pick Rename. This allows me to do two things. Gives it a new sheet number, which in this case is going to be A01 because it's A-sized paper. That's what letter paper is. And it's going to be page 1 in my packet. Then unnamed name becomes floor plan. Formal titles are usually typed in all caps, so please go ahead and type those in all caps, and I will hit OK. You will notice in my project browser it changes to say A-01 floor plan. It also changes in my title block. Okay, showing you the simplest way, using still my project browser, I'm going to click on the floor plan that I want to make a drawing of. I'm going to click and drag, I'm going to click and drag it over the sheet and let go. It's going to create this. It's going to let me place my box by clicking, and I'm going to get this. This drawing is way too small and has extra stuff on it that we don't need. So our next steps are going to be actually fitting the floor plan drawing to this so that I can dimension it. Okay? First thing I would tell you to do is to center this viewport, is what it's called. Think of it as a window into your floor plan because it will automatically update if you make any changes on your floor plan. Now, as you can see in properties, it says viewport title with line. I'd like for you to change that to viewport no title. That gets rid of this stuff down here we don't need that's already showing in your title block. Okay? We're actually going to create this view in a moment, or we're actually going to finish this view. But what we have to do is we actually have to go back to floor plan for a moment. So come back to floor plan. And I know the button is small, but when you look down at the bottom, there's one that says crop view. Okay? When you pick crop view, you're going to drag a box around what you want to crop. And that is this. Okay? Hit enter. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to go look at my floor plan sheet. And you'll notice nothing has changed. Okay? Nothing has changed here. In my floor plan, right next to crop view, I have to say show cropped region. I have to click that to see it. And now you can see this box. And this box, when I click on it, allows me to shrink it up just around the floor plan. If this may or may not, in this project we had trees outside, this may or may not cut off some of your trees. If you didn't notice, you're where it used to say show crop region, it now says do not. So you can turn this back off for future drawings. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and crop that down. And when I come back to floor plan, now all I have is this. Okay, now my scale is 1/16 of an inch in my drawing equals a foot. Is that too small of a scale for this drawing? Yes, it is. So I'm going to first double it. So 2/16 is also known as 1/8. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to center it up. I'm going to look at it and go, you know what? I could probably do a little bit better. So 2/8 is also known as 1/4. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to center this up. Now, if the cabin fits, or your drawing fits nicely on the screen there, that's fine. Okay. If your viewport line goes through your title block, understand that that viewport line won't be there when you actually print it. Okay. But I did not leave myself very much room to dimension. So I'm going to go back to that 1/8 to a foot and place it on here in the area so that I will have room to add dimensions around it. Okay. They are options, but we try to avoid using, there is one in between that's 3/16 of an inch to a foot, but we try to avoid using the funky fractions ones. Okay. If your fraction has a 1 on top, you're probably good to go. Once that is in, you'll notice our title block still has some generic things in it. The scale is there. Excuse me, the information I set before is there. However, author and project name are still not there. Okay, so for this project that I'm using for the demonstration, this was the cabin in the woods. So I'm going to change the project name to be Cabin in the Woods. Okay, again in all caps because we usually use capitalized letters for more formal things. And author becomes you. Also in all caps. Fill out your title block in all caps. I know it sounds like you're shouting. We're used to that for other forms of writing. In this form of writing, we use all caps. Okay. Now, if I was to have a contractor build this cabin for me, they wouldn't know how big stuff is. So, under modify, I have my dimensions tool right here under measure. Align dimensions follows whatever line you want. You can do aligned or you can do linear. It honestly doesn't matter. In our case, it's going to do the same thing. I'm going to then click where I start measuring, just like it tells me.